Hello everyone, welcome back to this free Figma course for complete beginners. My name is Ines, I'm a principal product designer and a hiring manager with 16 years of experience. If you've missed the previous lessons of this course, you can always go to my YouTube channel and watch them. This lesson is going to be about styles in Figma. But what is a style actually? In Figma, you can save certain attributes like colors, typography in one place, and if you are going to make changes to these attributes in this place, they will be changed everywhere in your files, provided that you've made a matching between this attribute and an object. Let me show you how it works in Figma and it will become crystal clear. Now we have a new file created where we have no styles. How we can say so is that if we have nothing created in a file and nothing selected, we can see here the local styles. An important thing to mention here is that the styles are global for your file. That means that if you have multiple pages created in a file, your styles will be defined for all of those pages. I want to also draw your attention to the panel that is called local variables. It is placed near the local styles by the reason. The thing is that variables and styles, they are very much connected and they have the similar logic inside of it. There are a lot of differences though between those two features. In the next lessons of this course, we are going to have a closer look to variables because they are way more advanced than styles. But if you will understand the concept of the styles, you will master variables in no time. Now let's review what styles you can create in Figma. If you click this plus button, you see that we are allowed to create text, color, effect, and a grid as a style. Let's start with the color because it's the easiest one to explain. There are two ways you can create a style. You can click it here and in this pop-up you will define the style as you want it. And, which I use more often, you can start designing in Figma, start creating something, and then you can define it through the style. For example, I want the color of this rectangle, let's make it more fun, to be saved as a style. The easiest way for me to do that is to click on the rectangle and to choose the color I want to save to my styles. From here, I can click on the plus icon that is called create style or variable, and we'll do that here. By default, Figma now prompts you to save a color as a variable. We are going to review variables in the next lesson, as I said, so for now let's review how we can create a style. And from here we see the exact same pop-up that we would open in the local styles panel. And now let's give it a name. Let's call it blue. And we can also define what we can be using it for. That could be helpful for your colleagues, for example. And from here, we just create the style. Now you can see that the fill panel is changed. Instead of having there a selection of the color as we would see it in the stroke panel the same way, we see it saved and referred to the style. And if we now unselect everything on the page, we will again see the local styles panel where our color blue is saved and we can access it from here and make changes. What is important is that if I now want to apply this color to, say, another shape, I can do it quickly. And if I change the settings and I will now turn it to the other shade of blue, it will be changed everywhere for all objects. And you might already notice that this concept is very much similar to the components. We had a lesson on the components in Figma already, so check it out if you've missed it. But the idea is virtually the same. I'm having one centralized place to make changes to my attributes, to my objects. That speeds up the development and designing time significantly. Now, what other styles can you create? The second type of a style that I personally use a lot is a text style. You can create it by triggering this plus icon in the local styles panel, but it's not how I prefer to create a style. I prefer to first define the styles in my file on the so-called style board, but it doesn't matter how you will call it. And from here, I can already see how those styles will look together. And after I'm satisfied, I can just save that. How can I do that? From the typography panel on the right-hand side, I click here, this icon, and again choose the plus button. From this, the style I assigned for this title is going to be transferred to the local style. Let's also give it a name. Let's call it H1. And what it is used, well, for the H1 title. let's create the style and let's create the body text as well. This way, for example, this is the body. Now, again, if we unselect everything on the page, we see that in the text styles, we now have the H1 title and the body. Same as with the color styles, you can change it from here and it will be changed everywhere, which makes it very, very convenient and very easy to work with. Good, now let's review the next style type that you can create. This is the effect style. And by effect style, Figma means that you can assign the drop shadow, inner shadow, layer blue, and background blue as a style. Again, it could be created from here. It's not how I prefer to do that. I like to first create it on the canvas, but it does not matter. And then if you want to apply the effect, you can go to this effects panel and choose the drop shadow from here. Now you can see that our rectangle, it has the drop shadow that we have created. Same idea, if we now will start changing the drop shadow style, it will be changed everywhere. It works just fine. Those three styles are the styles that I use the most. There are the fourth style though. It is called grid. And with this style, you can create a virtual entity that will not be visible in your final designs and prototypes, but will just help you to align the objects on a page. Let's see how it works. Let's create a style. I prefer the grid to be always equal to 8 pixels, so we will have it. And now, if I will create an iPhone frame, for example, I can assign a layout grid for it. Again, from this panel on the right-hand side, I can create a grid for this particular frame, or I can assign the grid that will be controlled centrally. This is the 8-pixel grid, and now if I'm designing or creating something, I can be guided by it. Frankly, I don't use grids that often. I think, in my opinion, they are more helpful when you're creating websites, not the products or features, because in products you usually have something predefined, some layout predefined for you, but it's very helpful in many cases, and it's also handy that you can change them from one place. And those were the styles that we can create in Figma. I hope that was helpful, and now you know what styles can you create and how you can navigate them. In the next lesson of this course, we are going to have a look on variables, because variables are close to the styles. You see that Figma even prompts you to save a color as a variable, not as a style, and there is a good reason for that. No worries, we're going to dive deeper in the topic of variables and you will understand the difference. And if you like this lesson and you plan to continue learning Figma, hit the subscribe button down below and click the bell. This way you will get a notification when a new lesson comes out. And I see you next time.